is a great base from which to take flight in search of bears or set sail in search of halibut. But unfortunately for us, Mother Nature decided to play a little bit of havoc with our plans. We are Terry and Cindy O'Keefe. We've been camping together for more than 40 years, and we invite you to join us in a 12-episode adventure as we explore the Yukon and Alaska. There's the spit.
The rain that had dogged us for a good part of a week finally let up. We booked an oceanfront site at Heritage RV Park. This was definitely the most expensive camping on our trip.
Now, Homer does have a lot of camping options, but we had wanted to make sure that we got a waterfront site right on the spit. And we were really glad that we did, because the views were absolutely incredible. The rest of that first day stayed clear and allowed us to tour the harbour and the shops and galleries that line the spit. Is it raining again? Are you tired of this rain in Alaska? Are you? But unfortunately, the rain returned the next day, and that played a bit of chaos with our bear viewing plans. Our flight to Katmai National Park to see the bears got canceled. And so that left us scrambling, checking the weather forecast. There was really only one good day the rest of that week, but there wasn't a lot of availability. The company we were going to go with had none, so we ended up booking with a different tour company, one that was going to fly to Lake Clark National Park. We flew in a group of 4 Cessnas, and once at Lake Clark, each pilot searched for grizzlies. Our pilot spotted a large one near the beach, so we landed. And started our hike. The waders the tour operator provided came in handy, as it was hard slogging through some marshy terrain, and unfortunately when we got to the location where the bear had been, he was gone. So it was back in the air and the search continued. Another pilot found a bear a few miles up the coast, so back to the beach we went. I don't mind telling you the hiking was not easy, at least not for me, especially in the sand. But after about 15 to 20 minutes, we were gathered about 40 yards from what turned out to be a rather restful grizzly. And because the tide was coming in, making the beach area usable by the aircraft smaller by the minute, our bear viewing was over too soon, and it was back in the air to return to Homer. And of course, before we got back, the weather turned again, and we landed in the rain. quick note, anytime you go out wildlife viewing, there's a chance that you're not going to see as much as you'd hope for. We certainly hoped we'd see more bears, but we did get to see one, and Mother Nature it doesn't come with a guarantee.
We had also wanted to book a fishing charter because Homer is the halibut fishing capital of the world. So take note, any fisher people out there, you will love it. However, for us, the rain continued and continued, so we had to opt out. But we did have a great seafood dinner at Captain Patty's. It was definitely one of the best meals of the trip, and the best halibut I have ever tasted.
And since we're on the topic of food, and let me start by saying we're not exactly foodies, but we happened across this little spot in downtown Homer called Captain's Coffee. And first, the coffee was amazing, and the Alaskan people really love their coffee. Mm-hmm. And the sandwich, it was called the Roast Beast. It was honestly the best sandwich I have ever tasted.
Aren't you something?
The heavy rain wasn't constant and provided opportunities to watch the locals fish. And boy, do they like to fish. We also visited Bishop's Beach for a scenic stroll on the mud flats at low tide.
Oh, is that a good stick?
And we got to do a bit of shopping. We really enjoyed the Bunnell Street Art Center and its amazing Alaskan-made products. One of which managed to make the journey home with us.
It's fantastic. It's clay, and he really does remind us of our trip.
We also had an opportunity to visit the Alaskan Islands and Oceans Visitor Center. Part of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the center provides a window into the world of seabirds, marine mammals, and their habitats in Alaska.
So we actually extended our stay in Homer, I think a total of 6 days we were there, in hopes that we would get a good day to go out halibut fishing, but it just turned out not to be in the cards because we had to head out. We had looming reservations at Denali National Park.
Well, it's another soggy morning as we get ready to say goodbye to Homer. It's actually been a pretty wet couple of weeks in this part of Alaska. Weather forecasters have been saying on the radio it's actually the wettest on record. And there's been a lot of rainfall, and we have to make our getaway today because they're predicting even more rain today. And they're saying that there's flood warnings for a number of the communities that we're going to be traveling through as we start heading north.
You're ready for the weather, aren't you?
Water sure is high.
So we set out driving past swollen rivers and got as far as Wasilla, where we boondocked at the local Walmart.
Well, finally, the next morning we were greeted by clearing skies, and we stopped at the headquarters of the Iditarod Dog Sled Races.
It's a valuable tool for anything that one endeavors to do.
It has a small but interesting museum as well as a store. And then it was back on the road, Denali bound.
Our visit to Homer was the first time that the weather had actually played a significant role and had any limit to what we could actually do. But in the grand scheme of things, it was still a great stop. And we knew that even greater adventures awaited us just down the road at Denali National Park. And that is in our next episode.